Smith Brubaker is the Deputy Secretary of Agriculture for the state of Pennsylvania, and we're here with her today at the Pennsylvania State Farm Show. Hannah, how is this 100th Farm Show different from when I was coming like 35 years ago?
Well, what I can say is the same, is that Farm Show brings the agricultural community together. What has changed a little bit is I think people are a little bit more interested in where their food comes from than we have been maybe in a few years. And this area, the Know Your Farmer area, as well as the Farm to Shelf area, is all about getting to know who grows your food. So whether that's having a direct relationship with your farmer and buying on farm or from a farmer's market, or buying from a retailer who's sourcing locally, or eating at a restaurant that's farm to table. So this whole area and the Farm Show as a whole is really, we're getting better at telling that story of where our food comes from.
Okay, and that's an important story to tell.
I think so. You know, for the future of agriculture, we need to make sure that we're meeting the demands of our customers.
But also, I think it's important for people to know where their food comes from.
Yes.
I mean, I think if most people had to kill their own animals for the beef on their table, they probably would be vegetarian.
Well, that's possible, although some of us do that.
I guess. I know I would be in any case, yeah. So I know there's kind of a nationwide farm-to-table movement. Has that influence, was that partially why you have this exhibit?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the visitors, like I said, they want to know where their food comes from, and this is an educational exhibit. It's all about helping people understand that process, whether it's direct to consumer or you're working through a processor.
Right. How many people come through the farm show, more or less?
Over the 8 days, we can expect about 500,000 people to come.
Wow. So that's a lot of education. That is fantastic. And getting to know your farmer and where everything comes from. I love that idea. Organic, I just want to get into some of the terms that I see when I'm at the grocery store now, because I'm a consumer, and I do like to know where my food comes from. So organic versus non-organic. I mean, I know it's a lot of money to have something stamped organic.
It is. However, there are USDA programs, cost share programs that help the farmer recover some of those costs.
And what does that mean, organic?
So it's an official USDA program, and the organic stamp, that label says that that farmer has used certain practices in the growing of their food. And those regulations are available online. Anybody can access them. In fact, you can go online and find out every certified organic farmer in the state. That's pretty easy to find out.
And are those organic, like organic produce, for example, that's more readily available?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I hear from grocery stores all the time that their customers are wanting to see more organic produce.
It's in demand, yeah. And the price, has that come down a bit? I kind of remember organic being a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I can say as a farmer myself, I've walked into many grocery stores, and what I charge for direct sales of vegetables are pretty comparable to what's in the grocery stores.
All right, but it's still nice to go to those farmers markets and meet the farmer like across the stand from you. Yeah,
it's all about relationships.
Absolutely. So just thinking about organic produce and what we can get sort of in the season, there's a board here that just shows this long list of vegetables. I was totally surprised by that. In January, what we can get.
Well, as farmers, we're tending to use more high tunnels, to some degree heated greenhouses, but with high tunnels, we don't even need heat, and we can grow straight through the winter.
That's fantastic. So we really can stick to what's in season.
Yes.
We don't have to get things grown in Mexico.
Well, you know, I like my avocados and bananas. My family does too. So far, we're not growing that in Pennsylvania. But,
okay. All right.
But for the most part, yeah, we can stick to what's grown season.
Some things you really just do have to go outside of Pennsylvania.
Depends on what you like to eat.
I guess so. Yeah. So you're a farmer?
Yes.
In Juliana County?
Yes.
How long have you been a farmer?
My family and I decided to move back to my partner's family farm about 5 years ago, and we just officially transitioned to it being the next generation of farmers there. The farm's been in existence for about 30 years, and we've been certified organic from the first year that we could be.
That's fantastic. And you're newly appointed as Deputy Secretary.
Yes.
But you're bringing all that great experience with you.
Well, one of the things that the secretary and the governor has really made a commitment to is that those of us who are coming to the table have practical experience and a background in agriculture. So.
Okay. But this is your first farm show as deputy.
In this
but you've been here before as a farmer.
Yes.
What is the best thing about the Pennsylvania State Farm Show?
Oh, you're gonna put me.
Absolutely. What is it? Besides the milkshakes.
Honestly, it's the people.
Yeah.
People really want to engage. The agricultural community is so friendly and supportive, and it's a time when we can just come together and celebrate the bounty of Pennsylvania.
Right. So it's a good networking opportunity for the farmers as well.
Absolutely.
As well as for us consumers to get to know where our food comes from.
Yes.
Well, I think this is just such a great exhibit.
Thank you.
And I look forward to looking around it. Anything else you want to tell our viewers at LCTV?
Just come to the farm show.
And get to know where your food comes from.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.
This is Joanne Bender with LCTV, and we're here at the Pennsylvania State Farm Show. This is Sarah Bay, and Sarah is an organic produce farmer. Hands in the dirt kind of person.
Right.
That's what we heard. Yeah. So, Sarah, tell me about what produce do you grow?
I grow between 30 and 40 different varieties of produce. So,
wow!
Yeah, all throughout the season. That's not all at one time.
Okay, so what are you growing right now?
All right, so right now it's winter, so there's not much growing, but there is stuff in high tunnels that we have.
Okay.
We are growing some kale and Swiss chard, some other salad greens. I think that's about it. And we also have crops in storage.
Okay.
That we,
so the tunnels, so what did you call them?
It's called a high tunnel.
A high tunnel?
Yeah, and that's...
And what are they?
What is it?
Yeah.
It's usually a metal structure that has plastic going over the top, and we have unheated high tunnels, so it's just heated by the sun. And it acts as a little, well, it's like a greenhouse. So it keeps the atmosphere and temperature in the high tunnel warmer than the surrounding areas outside. And so you're able to grow some things longer into the fall and even into the winter, through the winter. And then come spring, you can plant things earlier in this structure. So you'll have something to harvest before the fields. Yeah, in the spring.
How long have you been a farmer?
I've been farming for almost 9 years.
You don't look old enough to be farming for almost 9 years, Sarah.
Well,
did you start when you were little?
No, actually, I started after college, after I graduated college.
Okay. And where did you go to college?
I went to Juniata College.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania.
All right, very good. So just tell us a few of the other produce products that you grow on your farm.
Yeah, it's a wide variety. So we grow the tomatoes, the lettuce, melons, summer squash, cucumbers. We also grow a few different things like Asian greens, bok choy, and tatsoi.
Now, organic farming. So what's your take? What does that mean, organic farming? What's your farming philosophy?
My farming philosophy is really nurturing the whole system, the soil, but also the pollinators, the habitat surrounding the farm, the wildlife, and I really believe that you need to focus on the whole system, and it all works together, in your favor if you treat it properly. But also the soil, I really think of myself as concentrating a lot on the soil and wanting to nurture that life so it can grow great.
Because you're kind of like a guardian, really, of the piece of land that you're on.
Steward of the land. Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
So I know a term from other environments called biodynamics. Is that kind of the practice that you're describing there?
Not exactly. Some similar principles, but there are differences.
But it's using everything on the farm to its fullest extent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that
using nature as a helper?
Right, right. Does that make it more expensive or less expensive farming that way?
It's more expensive in terms of labor. I feel like human labor, because we're not, where I farm, we're not spraying for weeds, pesticides for weeds. So we're doing a lot of hand weeding.
Really? Wow.
And that stuff. So there are certain aspects that make it more expensive.
How big is your farm?
I have been farming on a farm that's about 5 acres.
Okay, see, I don't know why I asked that, because I have no idea how big 5 acres is, but it's big.
Yeah, it's enough to keep a person busy.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it just you on the farm? Obviously, you have people helping you, but is it like a family?
I had some people helping me. Yeah, it was. I'm coming from a farm. It was. I'm not currently working there, but it was owned by a college. It is owned by a college.
I see.
And so we hired some interns to help us every season to grow the food.
Okay, and that's in Chambersburg.
In Chambersburg, Wilson College.
Wilson College in Chambersburg. Okay, so you actually teach some of the students coming through Wilson.
Yeah, we teach some of the students, and then there's also people that aren't from the college but see it as a good place for them to learn farming. And
so you're passing on the legacy.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about being a farmer?
It's being outside all day. I just love it.
You're a hand. You can see the way you just like lit up when I said that. Yeah,
I love being outside. I love it.
You're a green thumb.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sarah, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for growing our food.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Okay, excellent, excellent. I've been talking to Sarah the farmer at the Pennsylvania State Farm Show. School to Table is a very cool program, and I'm going to have my three friends here tell you all about it. So why don't you introduce yourselves first? Go ahead.
My name is Natasha Garcia.
Okay.
I'm Elena Brown.
And I'm Jessica Cunningham.
Okay, and you ladies live in Steelton?
Yes.
All right. Tell me about School to Table.
School to Table is an organization where students work in the greenhouse. We propagate and sell the produce to local restaurants who are interested in organic vegetables for their clients.
Produce. Yeah, right. So the greenhouse is actually at the school.
Yeah, it's a very good learning environment. You learn not only how to propagate, but you're learning finance, you're learning how to harvest at the same time.
Okay. And by propagate, what do you mean?
Like we actually pick the leaves and make sure that there's no pests and make sure that the ingredients are actually fresh and presentable to their clients.
Okay. Are they organic?
Yes.
Okay.
There's absolutely no soil used at all. Everything is fish waste, and then the fish waste is then converted to have food for the plant.
Now, how do you grow plants without soil, guys? Come on. Really?
Yeah, because it converts, like the fish waste actually converts from nitrates to nitrites, and then all that is food for the plants. It's actually healthier and all organic.
Get out of town. Wow. So what do you like the most about School to Table?
I like the fact that I've never learned how to work with the plants, and now this is showing you that you can even take a stem and make a whole new creation with just a stem of something else. So that was really cool to learn about.
That is very cool. And you?
I think my favorite part is actually how local it is. It's actually in the back of our school, and we get to do it within our school and incorporate it into our curriculum.
That is also cool.
I like the opportunities that it gave us. Like we're a part of the dual enrollment program for Harrisburg University.
Okay.
And so we're getting college credits while we're still in high school.
All right, so you're getting a step ahead. Mm-hmm. So who buys your products?
Local restaurants around Harrisburg.
Restaurants. That is very, very cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for your time today. I don't want to keep you away from your work here.
Thank you.
All right. We're here at the Pennsylvania State Farm Show talking about School to Table. I'm with Julie Bancroft, and she is the executive director of the Pennsylvania Apple Marketing Association, and we're at the 100th Pennsylvania Farm Show. Apples. It's a big crop in Pennsylvania, isn't it?
Yes, we've had an excellent crop this year, probably one of our largest in history. I think that's how it's going to turn out. We represent about 270 apple growers in Pennsylvania. Apples are grown in every county in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So this is a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase all of our apple growers and all of the different marketing channels for apples.
And so you say in all of the counties, are there an area where it's sort of more apples are grown, or it's just all over the state?
Sure. So about 70% of the apples in Pennsylvania are grown in Adams County, which is known as the Fruit Belt.
I thought so, yeah.
And then also Berks County, Bedford County, York County would round out the top 4.
So on the eastern side of the state?
Yes.
Okay.
But like I said, they are grown in all counties in Pennsylvania. And then within Pennsylvania, apples are actually the 4th largest commodity. And in the country, we rank 4th in apple production as well.
Wow. So is Washington State. I always think of
Number
Washington.
one.
They're number one. Okay, but that's all right.
We love our apples, and we think we have a wonderful crop to
we
share with
do.
everyone.
Of course we do. And varieties of apples, are they all? Or what's the prevalent variety of apple in Pennsylvania?
So we would grow about 100 different varieties, but many of those you would only find at farm markets. There's
Okay.
about 20 that are going to be commercial varieties in retail.
I mean, I can only think of about 4, you know?
Probably the top ones would be Honeycrisp is now becoming the most popular.
Okay.
Fuji, Gala, and you know some of the old time favorites like Red Delicious are declining.
And Stamen Winesap. I always remembered that varietal. Still growing Stamen Winesap.
Yeah, that's going to be more of a farm market variety.
Okay, interesting. So now I see also on your display there's hard cider.
Yes.
Now I was very intrigued by that because I don't remember hard cider being a product in Pennsylvania, but you had said it is making a comeback.
It is indeed.
But it's quite a long comeback.
Yes, because hard cider was a staple in colonial times. When settlers came, they brought crab apples from Europe. But
is that what they made cider from originally? Crab apples?
Yeah, and actually, one of the unique opportunities with hard cider is that the cider producers are really interested in the antique or what you might hear as the antique apples. So like a smokehouse or
so yeah, what do they call them? I know the word you're trying to search for. It's like the older varietals. No, I gotcha. The heritage heirloom. That's it.
So that's what's going to be more popular for some of these cider varietals because it helps you get a drier flavor.
I see. Okay.
That's not to say that dessert apples aren't also used in some of these products. It helps. I mean, that's the beauty of having this wide array of varieties in Pennsylvania because it helps the cider producers really get those, you know, from a super dry to a sweet. So this has been probably in the last 2 years growing significantly. The public seems to be very interested in it, and we think it's great because it's a new opportunity for apple growers, especially with some of those older varieties that had lost some of the consumer.
To bring back some of those heirloom varietals, yeah.
Yeah, so what you see here is all Pennsylvania ciders made with Pennsylvania apples.
That is so cool. All right.
We love it.
Well, thanks for your time,
Thank
Jill.
you.
So, before I let you go, what's your favorite part about coming to the farm show?
I just love to come and be around the growers. It's a great time to be with the growers, but it's also a wonderful opportunity to educate the public. You know, I don't think we have some other processing apples on display here, and I think the public doesn't realize that, you know, maybe some of their favorite applesauce or pie filling is also made with Pennsylvania apples. So it's a great time to educate.
It brings people closer to the source of their food, which is always a good idea.
Yes, and that's the purpose of this display, the farm to shelf. It's to remind people the whole process of getting food to the table.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thanks for your time, and thanks for the promotion of Pennsylvania products.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm Joanne Bender with LCTV here at the 100th Pennsylvania Farm Show. We're here with Jason, and we're going to find out about Bill's Best barbecue sauce. Jason?
So we are from just outside of Philadelphia, in a town called Glenside. We manufacture 3 barbecue sauces. They're all organic. They're gluten-free. They don't have any high fructose corn syrup in them. And the genesis of it is really my dad. We're honoring my dad. His name is Bill. He actually came up with a recipe for their original flavor when I was young, and he called it Bill's Best. He came out with his own labels, and he'd print them out and put them on the bottles and give them to friends and family for Christmas.
So what was he doing that he came up with the recipe?
I have absolutely no idea.
So he's not a chef?
No, and it wasn't anything, you know, like where he had some epiphany, like, I'll just make this barbecue sauce. He was an outdoorsman. He loved to cook on the grill. So everybody in that category has to have their own sauce, and so he came up with his.
Yes.
And sadly, about 6 years ago, he was diagnosed with a rare form of dementia called frontotemporal degeneration.
Okay.
And people that he gave the sauce to as Christmas gifts would rave about it and say, you got to bottle it and sell it, and he never did.
Okay.
So we started the business after he was diagnosed to honor him, to fulfill a dream of his, and we donate a portion of what we make to dementia research.
Oh, that's fantastic. So tell me what are the 3 flavors?
So we have original.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Then we developed our spicy flavor off of the original, and then people kept asking us for a honey flavor, so we released that back in April of last year.
And what's your favorite dish to make with the barbecue sauce?
You can't go wrong with pulled pork sandwiches.
Absolutely.
It's easy to make. It takes a little bit of time, but patience pays off.
Excellent. All right, Jason. Well, thanks a lot for your time today. We're at the Pennsylvania Farm Show finding some good things to eat. This is Harvey Bay Shore at the historic tractor display, which is funded by the Waterloo Boys. Is that right, Harvey?
That is correct.
Okay, Harvey, tell us what we've got here. We've got some old tractors.
Well, we are a John Deere club, and on this aisle we have behind us is the history of the John Deere, which purchased the Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company in 1918, and from there they started to develop their own tractors with John Deere's name on it. And the first one that he produced with his name was a John Deere Model D, and the next one that he produced was a John Deere Model GP.
Okay.
And the next one was an A standing right behind us.
Okay.
And these were all in sequence per years, 23, 27, 34, and at the end here we have a B which he produced in 35. So
wow.
A farmer who is in at least 80 years old is looking at a tremendous amount of history here when he was a child and worked them.
Now tell me, have they always been green?
Always green and yellow.
Isn't that, why green? No reason.
I have no idea, because John Deere died when he was 84 years old in 1886. I never talked to him. I wasn't born.
Was he a farmer or was he a machinery kind of guy?
He was a blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
And the first thing he made in 1837 was a plow that was very successful in the West to get rid of the muck ground that it didn't stay on the plow. It cleaned itself.
Okay.
That's how he got in the farming business. From there, he started purchasing companies up. When World War I came, we sent all our mules and horses over to Europe to fight the war effort, and everybody was encouraged to make a tractor. John Deere's son was now president, Charlie, and he was that particular. He never got any developed himself, so he purchased the Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company, which was the most reliable tractor for the time, and then the rest is history. Today we are almost 180 some years later, and it's still at John Deere. He never sold out.
Wow, that's great. Now, where are they manufactured? Where are they based?
Some are based in Waterloo, Iowa, some up in Dubuque, Iowa, and some are made in Mexico today,
These
the modern
days.
ones.
Yeah. So it's an Iowa-based company.
It is.
So Harvey, what's your involvement here at the Farm Show?
Well, I'm on the committee here at the Farm Show, and I get this spot, and then for trade-off, I have to do different things for the Farm Show. On Saturday, we were in the opening ceremonies.
Okay.
Today, I'm in the equine arena from 11 to 5 with some of the members working.
Okay.
And tomorrow, we'll do the pedal pull at 12:30.
So that's on those little tractors that you pedal.
The children.
I think that's fascinating.
It is. And it's competition.
Oh, wow.
You can get a prize if you win. And I got Secretary Deputy Gary Hosteller going to be involved in it, giving the children their prizes.
That's cool. That's really cool. So what's the best thing about the Pennsylvania Farm Show?
The awesome people I meet.
There you go.
I met you today.
There you go. Thanks for your time.
I have another row here to introduce. Do I have that much time to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Starting on this row is the steam engine that you were standing on a bit ago.
Okay.
It's 100 years old. It's a Peerless Model R. And I was very fortunate to have that 80-year-old man volunteer to bring it in at his own expense.
Wow.
And next you see a Ford Ferguson, which is the first tractor with 3-point. Now, if you were a farmer, 3-point was a big improvement in farming. And the next one that you see is an Oliver Model 88, and it's a 1948 year, and it's the first one with live par takeoff, which means that if you were pulling a piece of equipment like a baler or a combine and you had to stop for something, the piece of equipment kept running, which was an important thing in those days as far as advancement in agriculture. And then the next one is a Cleveland tractor. That company was here at the very first farm show 100 years ago.
Wow.
And we thought it was important that we bring one that's 2 years newer than that, but the same style.
Okay. Who knew there were so many tractors? Such a history with tractors.
It is.
That's fascinating.
And it's a thing that these gentlemen that come to see this that are 85, 90 years old, they spend a lot of time in here drooling. Brings back a lot of memories.
That's Great. Well, thanks for your time, Harvey. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It was the short version.
I'm Joanne Bender with LCTV, and I think I'm going to learn a lot here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show.